So did you get into fights in your old school? A student in freshly pressed khakis and a collared shirt once asked me. The appeared suburban, middle-class Las Vegas public schools had quite the reputation. Compared to the unlivable anarchy of my previous school, private school was a welcome change, but felt like an entirely different world both aesthetically and culturally. On the first of many 30-minute drives I would take to my school, I saw the world outside shift drastically from Pueblo-style buildings and empty desert lots to well-trimmed lawns and ritzy golf courses. I felt like an alien before I even stepped out of my father's car, but I was visiting a world where I desperately wanted to belong. After watching all the new BMWs lining up behind my father's 8-year-old Toyota at the middle school drop-off on my first day, I began to feel embarrassed at how clearly different I was from everyone else. Throughout my first years at my school, I crafted a persona that hid all of my insecurities by simply failing to admit to any of them. After all, nobody could treat you differently if they never found out who you really were. I usually answered the question, "What do your parents do?" with a mumble, ashamed that my mother was just a nurse, my father just an accountant, far from the top surgeons and hotel magnates that parented my friends. Consequently, I assimilated into my school's culture. I found comfort in the idea of being normal, even though I still did not feel like I belonged. I later realized that I may have become too normal. During a history class in my freshman year, I was talking to a friend who asked me, "Why do people have a problem with my trust fund?" The fact that someone coming from a family of multimillionaires would confide her problems about wealth to me spurred the realization that I lacked authenticity. She expected me to have the same problems with money, to be her same normal. She was not asking me, but the person who I had made myself appear to be. Secretly, my main insecurity was that I wanted to be considered equal to my classmates, and I took pride in the idea that my peers considered a middle-class kid to be of their stature, as if blending in were some sort of achievement. All I wanted was to avoid any mention of my background, for fear of my normal character being tarnished. Once, a friend of mine asked if my mother was a nurse, to which I muttered, "Yes," fully expecting ridicule to follow soon after. Instead, he responded saying, "That's cool. My father said he used to work with her at the hospital." Rather than focusing on our wealth disparities, my friend found the similarities between our backgrounds and used them as a platform to relate. Since the day I accepted I was not normal, I made it a goal to use my varied experiences to bring in uncommon perspectives. For instance, during a lunchtime discussion about the Affordable Care Act, I agreed with my peers' concerns about the act's resulting in greater insurance premiums for middle and upper-class families and decreased salaries for healthcare professionals in the public sector. However, I reminded them that it allowed millions of working-class people to access life-saving treatments. Although we varied in our political alignments, my ability to relate helped foster a respectful discussion about improving healthcare policies. I continue to work for unique perspectives to be embraced, and I hope for my differences to aid in connecting us all. This philosophy inspires everything I do, from my explorations to my discussions. I take my places on the fringes of novelty and convention. I no longer fear deviation. The only fear I hold is in not being myself. Alright, so if you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe, and comment what you thought of my essay down below. This summer, what I'm going to be doing is I'll be posting twice a week. On Tuesdays, I'll be posting things regarding essays and how to write good essays, and also I'll be sharing my own essays. On Fridays, what I'll be doing is making tips videos for people who are kind of going through the same thing that I went through myself. Whether it's making tips for your upcoming high school year, how to navigate the college process, and maybe even just some creative stuff that I'm into. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright.